रन्द ज्ञानञ्जन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामने गौरतुष्वे नमः। जयतां सुतपङ्गुर् मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्पदाम्भुजो श्रीराधा मदनमोहनो। वृन्दायै तुलसी देवी प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवते नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। ऑल टुगेदर हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामने गौर शक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगा वरायते। श्री भजन रैसे। The Brihan Naradi Puran says, everyone knows this verse, but we should know the reference of this verse. Brihan Naradi Puran. What is that verse? Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Hare Nam Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, 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 Gatiranyatha. From Brihan Naradi Puran. Meaning, in Kali Yuga, there is no other way for the jiva than chanting the holy name. There is no other way. There is no other way. Okay, we all know the meaning of this verse. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains in his commentary on this verse, in Kali Yuga, Swayam Bhagwan Shri Krishna has appeared in the form of his name. Nam Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinatva Nama Namani. We are hearing this every day. There is no difference between the holy name and Krishna himself. Through Harinam, the whole world can be delivered. Through Harinam only. Such a strong statement. The whole world cannot be delivered by any other means, only by Harinam. Naam bina kichu nahi aar, chauda bhuvan maaje. There is nothing beyond the holy names of the Lord. Nothing in comparison, nothing in the same weight as the holy name of Lord. So, one pastime in related to this. How many queens Krishna have in Dwarika? 16,108. And Krishna married to so many queens, headed by Shri Rukmani. Once upon a time, Narad came to Dwarika. He was always very playful. Today we heard this song, Narad Muni Bajai Veena Radhika Ramana Namare. Not only that he's playing the veena, but he's also very playful in nature. And the all purpose of Narad is to glorify Krishna and to glorify the holy name. So wherever he goes, he's always singing and chanting. He never stays one place. He's always moving around. And because he got cursed, oh, can anyone curse Narad? No one can curse Narad, but he accepted that curse. Who gave this curse? Daksh Prajapati. Daksh Prajapati in Srimad Bhagavatam, He had 10,000 sons. Imagine, 10,000. And Daksh Prajapati wants that all the sons should go and perform some austerities to control over the senses to get married. You see, that was a system. Not marrying with uncontrolled senses. Prior to marriage, one has to go perform austerities to control senses and then get married. So 10,000 sons performing austerities. Naraji saw that's a good chance, good opportunity. And he spoke the glories of holy name. And by hearing the one lecture of Naraji, just one lecture, those 10,000 sons of Daksh Prajapati totally change and they renounce. What a powerful lecture. Huh? Just one lecture, not series of lecture. And so many lectures happen like this in Srimad Bhagavatam, full of one lecture only. Ved Vyasji, he heard only one lecture of Narad. Bas. And he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. King Rahugan, he heard only one lecture of Jad Bharat. Just one. So there are so many examples like this. Naraji spoke one lecture and 10,000 sons. They gave the idea of getting married. They all renounced, became sannyasis. Daksh Prajapati's father became so upset. He gave birth to another 1,000 sons, another batch. 1,000 and told, go perform austerities. Another 1,000 batch. And Naraji came over the scene and Naraji said, oh, that's a good one. 10,000 disciples. I already got 10,000 disciples. Now another 1,000. He spoke lecture. One lecture. Why are you wasting your life? Why not worshipping Krishna? And give all energy to Krishna. Everything. Your senses, your mind, your words, your body, everything what you have, offer to Krishna. Because ultimately Krishna is the possessor of everything. Rishikesh. Rishikesh means Krishna. One of the name of Krishna is Rishikesh. He is the master of senses. I'm thinking I'm master of my senses. I cannot control my senses. I cannot even control the urges of the senses. How I can say I'm the master of senses? I'm staying in this house. Hemant Prabhu, a very senior disciple of Gurudev, he always he remembered one pastime, and he was sharing with me, saying, once upon a time, a king asked his minister, what is the most blissful moment in a life? Very funny story. I laughed like 15 minutes when he told me this. What's the blissful and happiest moment in one's life or in one's daytime? Minister said, okay, I'll give you a practical example. To answer this, a practical example, let's go for a boat ride. And he took the king on a boat right in the middle of the ocean. King said, now it's already 2 hours. Let's go back. No, no, Maharaj, just sit on the boat. See everything so nice, beautiful mountains, sight scenes, bluish water, whales, dolphins. Enjoy. He said, yeah, that's good, but I have a nature call. I have to go bathroom, to go toilet. Say, no, no, wait a minute. Hold on, hold on. See, such beautiful mountain. You see snow? Wow, so nice. So that's okay, but you understand, I need to go. So see this ocean? See those dolphins? How they're jumping? That's good, but obey my order. I need to go very urgent. Say, hold on, hold on. And in this way, the minister trying to distract the king. But it's nature call. He can't hold. He's already waiting 5 hours, and now he's like sweating and so much pain and suffering, and I'm ordering, go back. All those beautiful sight scenes and all opulences around him became fade. He said, you are king, isn't it? King means you can rule over all your subjects. You are king of everything, all your territory, you know. Can't you become king of your senses? Can't you become king of your urges? Then what kind of king you are? King said, I can't speak right now. Let's go back. When he came back, he immediately rushed to toilet, bathroom, and he got so much relief. He said to his minister, that's the most happiest moment. Most blissful moment. So much relief. And all sightseeings, all beauties around was not so much importance. What important is? We want to hear from you. One Hari Katha. Yes, come. He ran away. That's the most happiest moment. Yeah. The story of king and minister. Yeah. Then the king realized. Minister said, I want to make you realize this. You think you are king. Have you become king of your mind, your heart, your urges? No. First one is supposed to become king of one's senses, master of our senses. We are servant of our senses. Wherever sense wants to take us, we just following that. That means senses are my master and I'm the servant. But making ourselves master over our senses. Senses should be our servant. That's why once upon a time, one simple ordinary, not ordinary, but very fulgent one sannyasi was sitting, not wearing any clothes, just covering, one small cloth. And there's so many big personalities, big people riding on their big Mercedes and BMW car. They're getting down from their car and taking the dust from his lotus feet on their head like this. So one gentleman standing nearby asked, "Oh Maharaj, who are these people? Very rich, billionaire, trillionaire, all fancy cars. And see, he came on his airplane and jet air. And he said, they all are my servants." No, Maharaj, how they can be servants? You have no possession, one single cloth on your body, no house, you're sitting under a tree. He said, well, I want to say they are servant of my servant. Can you explain how they are servant of a servant? He said, because they are servant of their mind, and the mind is my servant. Mind is my servant and they are servant of their mind. So they are servant of the servant. They think they are very rich. They think they are king, but they can't rule over. They can't even regulate. They can't even control their own senses. So who is king? Maharaj. Maharaj means one who have control over the senses and urges of mind. They are king. So that's the most blissful moment, right? Nothing appeals so good around when we are in this kind of situation. And we think we are controllers. We have remote, we can control everything. I can't even control my senses. So, Naraji spoke Harikatha, 1 hour, one lecture, 1,000 sons of Daksh Prajapati also changed. Daksh Prajapati, father, became so upset. He lost 11,000 sons. They became sannyasis. He is not idle father. Guru na sasyat, swajano na sasyat. Pita na swajanani na sasyat. Who is idle father? Rishabdev. Who is our idle relation? Our relatives. Those who inspire us for Krishna consciousness. Those who are against Krishna consciousness, they are not our idols. The best father is Rishabdev, who called upon his 100 sons. And what he said? Naham de bhajam nirloke kashtam kamam artham vidbhujami. My sons, Bhagwan has not given us this body to enjoy like dog and hog. Vidbhujam ye. But father, the body is there to enjoy. He said, no, no, no. You don't know the purpose of your body. Why Lord has given you human birth. These enjoyments are also present in animals. Then what makes the difference between animals and human beings? Dharma eka adhikam vishesho dharma vahina pashubi samana. Animals, they can't follow any lecture. They can't chant. These facilities given to human beings because of their vast intelligence. Vast intelligence. To apply that intelligence and to apply the senses in the service of the master of the senses. Rishikeno Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchyate. Bhagavatam explains. Serving the master of the senses, Rishikesh, with one's senses, this is simply bhakti. In a simple definition of bhakti. So Daksh Prajapati is not idle father. And he cursed Naraji. I curse you. Because wherever you stay, you make people, you change, you destroy their relationship. Everyone become renounced here. So I curse you can't stay in one place more than a moment. You can't stay there. As long as a milkman milks the cow, only that much time you can stay in one place. Naraji said, well, that's very good for me. Now I can draft my schedule. I cannot stay one place. I just move here and there. Harikatha, Seattle, Hawaii, New York, Germany, Brazil. Naraj is moving everywhere. Naraj is moving everywhere means the representative of Naraji, our Srila Gurudev. The representative of our entire Guru Parampara moving here and there. And they're not sitting idle, preaching, inspiring everyone to worship Krishna, which is the only goal of life. Otherwise, life will be waste. So Narad is very playful. He came to Dwarika. Okay, somebody asked a question. If Narad cannot stay more than a few minutes in one place, how come Naraji is in Govardhan performing austerities? Or when he goes to Dwarika, he stay there for long. Good hosting. And in Govardhan, he's sitting in. One time I'll take all of you in Govardhan Parikrama. You seen that? Naraji, Narad Kund, you saw that? No. It's just opposite to Kusum Sarovar. Govardhan is right here behind me. So opposite to Kusum Sarovar, one very beautiful pond that's called Narad Kunda, where Naraji performed very severe austerities to achieve what? Radha Dasyam. And there you get one divine darshan of Naraji. Naraji sitting as a gopi, because Naraji is one gopi, Naradiya gopi in Golok Vrindavan. She's wearing sari and covering her head with a veil, and she's carrying one veena in her hand, because this veena of Naraji given by Radharani to her. And name of veena is Devadatta. The veena of Naraji, Devadatta in Bhagavatam. So how he can stay there if he got cursed? And how is he can stay in Dwarika for long? Because this curse of Daksh Prajapati, who is a materialistic person, averse to Lord, his curse cannot affect in the Dham. His curse cannot affect in Dham. So that's the best place to stay, and Naraji is there. The curse of Daksh Prajapati cannot affect him in Dham. So when he's in Dwarika, playing on Veena, attracting everyone, Rukmani came forward. She's very simple, sober, very simple. She's not, she's Dakshin Bhav, submissive mood. She's not Vamya Bhav. Radharani is Vamya Bhav. Chandravali, the counterpart of Radharani, she is Dakshin Bhav. She is submissive. We never heard Chandravali ever perform Man. She can't do this. And her mood is, Krishna, I'm yours. She loves Krishna so much, and Krishna also go to her and play many pastimes with her. But her mood is, Krishna, I'm yours. But Radharani mood is, you are mine. It's one and the same thing, right? No. So much difference. Saying I'm yours and you are mine. When I say you are mine means I have complete rights on you. Complete rights on you. You are not independent, you are mine. That means this bold statement. So much love is there that you have right on a person saying you are mine. And I'm yours, that more submissive mode. So because this material world is perverted from the spiritual world, here submissive mode is considered as very sober, or kya? Respectable, high and sober. But the mood, submission mood in spiritual world is totally different. When Chandravali is a submissive mood, she's not that highly glorified for that. But Radharani, her mood is more leftist mood. You are mine. Because of her intense, extreme love and service for Krishna. Possessiveness. Yes. She is very possessive about Krishna. Chandravali also, but the mood is submissive mood. So Rukmani is also like this. And Satyabhama is totally different. Satyabhama is like Radharani. Rukmani, very submissive. So Naraji said, Rukmani, you love Krishna? She said, yes, I love my husband, Krishna, so much. You want Krishna to be your beloved husband, birth after birth? She said, of course, I can't leave him. So Rukmani, here you go. I give you one tip. It says in Shastras, if you give donation, you never get scarcity. You get more than what you donated. So Naraji said, Rukmani, whenever if you give donation, it comes back in multiples. So if you donate Krishna to me, you get Krishna every time. That's the nature of donation. There will be no scarcity if you donate something. So donate Krishna to me because Krishna is your husband. She said, oh really? That's amazing. Yes. So Naraji, I donated Krishna to you. Oh, not like this. With sankalpa, with a promise. Take some water in your hand and say, Krishna is yours, Narad, and offer this water in my hands. That's called sankalpa. You cannot take your words back. You're promising. Okay, I can do this. She's so simple. And Naraji is playing trick with her. She took water in her hands. Oh Narad, I am offering Krishna to you, donating Krishna to you. And Narad hold that water. Jai, that's it. Krishna is mine now. Who can give Krishna? The pure devotees of the associates of Krishna, Rukmani is the head amongst all the queens. So she gave Krishna to Narad, and Narad is now singing and dancing in the whole palace. Krishna is mine, Krishna is mine, Krishna is mine. Krishna, where are you? Come here, come here. Krishna came. Yes, Rukmani donated you to me. So now, chalo, let's go. Where are you taking me? That's my desire. You have no right to ask anything. You're not independent. You're dependent on me now. I have purchased you. Either we can purchase Krishna or we can get donation of Krishna. तुलसी दल मात्रेना जलस्य व चुल्केन वा विक्रय आत्म स आत्म भक्तेव भक्त जन प्रिया. Shri Advaitacharya Prabhu, he took tulsi in his hands, and he offered to Shalagram, and he purchased Krishna. Shastra says, if anyone offer a tulsi leaf with love and affection and offer to Krishna, can purchase Krishna. And if you purchase Krishna, it's not independent, he's dependent on you. Suppose you buy, say, one bag of apple. You pay to the store. Now if you come out, you throw the apple in bin, in garbage, or you throw in the streets, or feed to the dogs. You can do whatever you want. Can store complain? No, you already paid for that. You have no right. All rights to the owner, the buyer. So a devotee can buy Krishna by offering a tulsi leaf, which is not ordinary. We see tulsi, a plant, the holy basil. It's a plant, but no. Tulsi is Vrinda Sakhi, the Gopi Vrinda from spiritual world, Vrinda Dasi. Vrinde Namaste Charanar Vindam. Taveva Murati Tulasi Niloke Vrinde Namaste Charanar Vindam. That Vrinda Sakhi, which arrange all the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. She is the one who arranged everything. And without Vrinda Sakhi, pastime is impossible there. And that Vrinda Sakhi comes as on this planet as plant Tulasi. So without Tulasi, Krishna don't accept any offerings. So when we get initiation, we get Tulsi beads, this neck beads. That means Gurudev offers us to Krishna by putting Tulasi on our neck, Tulsi beads. क्या बोला था? Yeah, Rukmani donated Krishna to Naraji, and Naraji saying, Krishna, chalo, let's go. Where are you taking me? You have no right to ask this question. I already got you now, but at least tell me. Naraji said, I will take you with me, and I will give you, I will place you in all hearts, in everyone's hearts. Those who are most sinful person, I will place you in their heart. You have no right to ask why. Because bhakti is independent and bhaktas are independent. Whereas Bhagwan, Lord, is not independent. He is dependent on his devotees. Devotees can give Krishna to each and everyone without any consideration. Sinful or not sinful, doesn't matter. That's why Naraji can place Krishna in anyone's heart. That's the nature of devotee. Good mission, good purpose. Krishna was happy. But then Baldev Prabhu came forward. Narad, what is this play? Don't joke with us. I heard you taking Krishna out from Dwarika. Yes. Narad, stop it. You see my musal? I will beat you. You can't take Krishna like this. If Krishna goes with you, what's here then? Nothing. We can't live without him, you know this. So stop this play. Naradji said, no, you can't stop me. I got Krishna's donation. Who gave you this? Rukmani. Narad, you tricked Rukmani? She's so simple. So whatever the case is, now Krishna is mine. Narad, I request you, please leave. Please spare Krishna. Don't take Krishna. Anything equivalent to Krishna we can give you. Narad said, okay, then gold. Give me gold. Equal weight of Krishna. Baldev Prabhu said, oh, that's very easy. We have so much gold in our treasure, so many diamonds. And now I understand the purpose of Narad. He is here to get our wealth. But Baldev Prabhu is not understanding. Narad is here to establish something more important. Narad said, okay, so place Krishna on a scale. One side Krishna, another scale you put gold and diamonds. And the same weight of Krishna, I will take gold and diamonds and leave spare Krishna with you. Okay. Baldev Prabhu ordered, bring gold. And they keep on bringing gold and diamonds on the other part of the scale. The whole treasure was finished. Empty. But the scale of Krishna is not even moving. Baldev Prabhu thought, Krishna, you became so heavy? What's the matter? You know, this is a drama going on. A play. How come you became so heavy? Bring more gold. Take loan from neighbor countries. So much gold was kept. Krishna's scale not even moving. Not even a slight centimeter or millimeter. Not even moving. Then all the queens came forward. Baldev Prabhu said, Krishna is leaving us. If you want Krishna back, bring your gold and your ornaments. They all came running with their ornaments kept on the scale. Imagine 16,107 queens. Not 100. Rukmani was not there. 16,107. How much gold and ornaments they have. They put on the scale, not moving at all. The news went to all Dwarika. Everyone brought their ornaments, kept on the scale. Krishna's scale not moving at all. They all started crying and weeping. Oh, Krishna will leave us now. Rukmani came from her palace. Say, what's the matter? Why everyone is panicked here? Rukmani, you gave Krishna to Narad? Yes, because I want Krishna birth after birth. Say, Narad tricked you. He's trying to take Krishna away. You know, Krishna is leaving us. She said, no way. Narad, what you did? Then she understood what she has to do. She said, why everyone is so panicked? Remove all the gold from the other part of the scale. I know how to get Krishna back. Say, Rukmani, if we take all the gold away from that part of scale, how are you going to? No, don't worry. Remove. They took all the gold, everything out. Rukmani took one tulasi leaf, and she wrote Krishna on one tulsi leaf, and she placed that on the other part of the scale. And what happened? Boom. Krishna went to Golak, and his name, Krishna, remained in this material world because of the mercy of Rukmani. Because Krishna and Krishna name equal, but little extra weight of tulasi. But it's not the matter of how much weight is tulasi? Nothing, insignificant. But it's not the matter of weight, the matter of weightage of that love of tulasi for Krishna. That weight. That the scale moved so fast, Krishna went up, and his holy name stayed back. Therefore, that's why Abhinatva Nam Namani, non-different. Krishna and Krishna name non-different. And that's why Gurudev gives us what? Tulsi beads to chant Krishna Nam. Right? Because Tulsi is very dear to Krishna. Vrinda is very dear to Krishna. So, in Kali Yuga, Krishna has appeared in the form of his name. Through Harinam, the whole world can be delivered. Only through Harinam. The words Hare, Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Harer Nam eva kevalam. The words Harer Nam in the text are used 3 times to make people with mundane intelligence become fixed in chanting Harinam. 3 times. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam. Who is the most intelligent, intellectual person in material world? One who has done masters, CEO for any company. Bhagavatam explains who is the most intelligent person. Krishna Varnam Atusha Krishnam Sangopang Astra Pashadam Yagya Sankirtan Prayai Yajantihi Sumedasa. Medasa means intelligent. Sumedasa means very intelligent person. Those who take shelter of Harinam. Krishna Varna, those who worship Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's the one who gave this Krishna Nam to everyone and inspire everyone, even animals and birds and trees. One who gives Krishna Nam to everyone, he's Mahavadanyai, his best donor. One who worships Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is golden, who has golden complexion, and who always chant the names of Krishna. Prabhu kahi kahilam iha mahamantra. Mahaprabhu used to chant day and night. What? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mahaprabhu is chanting day and night. So one who worship Gauranga Mahaprabhu in this Kali Yuga and chant Mahamantra, Yajanti Pray Sumedasa, Sankirtan Pray Yajanti Sumedasa, and participate in that Sankirtan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that person is known as intellectual and very intelligent. But Sankirtan of Mahaprabhu, that was 500 years back, 540 years back. Mahaprabhu is not performing any Sankirtan now. That's history, that's past. No, even now Mahaprabhu is performing Sankirtan. How? When our Acharyas, our Gurudev, when they're performing Sankirtan, that's Mahaprabhu Sankirtan. Wherever, Mahaprabhu always in 4 places. What are the 4 places where Mahaprabhu stays? In the house of Sachi Mata, Mahaprabhu is always there. So when we go visit Mayapur Dham, the house of Sachi Mata, that means Mahaprabhu is always present there. Second place, the house of Raghav Pandit, where he and his sister cook so much for Mahaprabhu with so much cleanness. Third, where Shri Nityan Prabhu performing Sankirtan, dancing. Mahaprabhu always used to come there. So when Nityan Prabhu is present, Mahaprabhu cannot resist. He have to come there and dance. And in all our Sankirtans, what we perform in streets, at home, Nityan Prabhu is present. The manifestation of Nityan Prabhu is Shri Guru. And manifestation of Nityan Prabhu is Shri Mridanga. So even now, not that 500 years back, Mahaprabhu performed Sankirtan. Even Sankirtan is happening today. Anyone who participate, anyone who organize Sankirtan get a special blessings from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that everyone come together, congregational chanting of Harinam. This is what is the meaning of Sankirtan. Who initiated this Sankirtan? Our Gurudevs, our Acharyas. So every kind of service, cooking for deities, establishing centers, inviting guests, devotees for programs, distributing books, this is all Sankirtan. Sankirtan is not only restricted to just singing and dancing. Of course that is, but more than that is the whole mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the devotees who are taking those pain, devotees are taking this pain to distribute the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rightly, provided this term rightly, not with selfish motives, but selfless motives. All that activities is termed as Sankirtan. Yagye Sankirtan Prayai Yajanti hi Sumedasaha. That person is known as most intelligent and intellectual. You see? So anyone who is participating in this mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and what is the mission? To, to achieve the prem, the love of Krishna. That's the only mission. But because this is something very high, not an ordinary, any goods to buy or any object to buy, this is something very high from spiritual world. Krishna Nam, Krishna Prem. Because this is very high. Therefore, so many services are there to attain this. Even cooking for deities is Sankirtan. Serving devotees is Sankirtan. Practicing Krishna consciousness is also part of Sankirtan. Taking care of Tulasi, Sankirtan. Serving Gurudev, Sankirtan. Hosting programs, Sankirtan. Everything is Sankirtan. It's not only singing and dancing. But the specific meaning of Sankirtan is congregational chanting, which helps everyone. When we are individual at home, we feel lazy and crazy. We don't feel inspired. And gradually we give up the taste. And to develop the taste again takes so much energy. So we should try our best not to lose that taste. And the taste get revived when we all come together and we sing and chant and hear Harikatha under guidance of our Gurudev. That's Sankirtan. So Krishna Varnam Atusha Krishnam. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur introduced this Sankirtan, Nam Hata. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he introduced the concept of temples, Gaudiya Math. But prior to Srila Prabhupada, there was no Gaudiya Maths. There were centers. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur introduced those centers. Name as Nam Hata. You understand the meaning? Suppose I'm in this house and devotees here. Not suppose, but they are inviting every day so many devotees, cooking for them, giving gifts to them, giving them song books and helping in any way, so many ways. Inviting here, and this is Nam Hata. Means everyone comes here together, chanting, singing, honoring Prasad. Nam Hata. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur introduced this Nam Hata. Each and every village, town, city. So this Nam Hata is also called Sankirtan. Sankirtan. So the word Sankirtan is very wide definition. And in that Sankirtan, everyone get inspired. The host and the guest, everyone, because we are together. Krishna Varna Matusha Krishnam Sangapang Astra Pashadam. Mahaprabhu came with his weapon. All incarnation, they comes with their favorite weapons. What is the weapon of Vara Bhagwan? You know? Vara Bhagwan. Club. Weapon of Narsimha Bhagwan? Nails. Weapon of Shri Ram? Bow and arrow. Weapon of Krishna? Sudarshan Chakra. But that Sudarshan Chakra weapon from Dwarika. In Vrindavan, Krishna has different weapon. Another weapon, I mean. What is that weapon? The best weapon. Very polite weapon. Singing and killing everyone. Killing means lovingly. Attracting everyone. Neham kim vada. Gopis are saying this. Are you not killing us by glancing, lovingly glance on us? That's a weapon. So Krishna is very proud of this weapon. Which weapon? Venu, Vamshi. But Krishna is boldly challenging. Is there anyone who has big weapon than this? Then Lalita Vishaka Gopis, they're bringing Radharani. What you saying? What you said? Is there anyone to challenge? I challenge you. Oh, what weapon you holding? Radharani has bow and arrow. Huh? Bow and arrow? Yes. Isha Mata is indicating bow and arrow. This is bow. Eyebrows of Radharani. And she shoot arrows through her glands. Yes. You get angry sometime on him? Then you don't have to use any words, just looking. She's carrying this bow and arrows, the glance, and then shoot Krishna to the heart, and Krishna unconscious. Venu karal nipatitam skhalitam shikhandam bhrashtam chapit vasno brajaraj suno yasya katak shargata vibhuchirtasya tam radhika charan renu aham smrami. Shri Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur is saying, the Venu, when Radharani glanced over Krishna with that weapon, Venu, the flute fall on the ground. And then his pitambar, his peacock feather, his flute, and his yellow garment. 3 identities. And what to speak of that? Krishna fall unconscious. That's the weapon of love. When there is so much love, you don't need any weapon. Just looking, sharp glances. Or not even sharp glances, but just turn the eyes around, and that's enough to say, to communicate. Radharani is holding that weapon. And Mahaprabhu is holding a very, very special weapon. What is that weapon? What is that weapon? He's carrying weapon on his mouth, in his mouth. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That's the weapon of Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu is present in the house of Sachi Mata. Mahaprabhu is present where Shri Raghav Pandit offer Mahaprabhu Bhoga. In the third place where Shri Nityan Prabhu performing Sankirtan. And fourth is Shiva Sangam. And all these four places full of love. Sachi Mata love for Mahaprabhu, Nityam Prabhu's love for Mahaprabhu, Raghav Pandit's love for Mahaprabhu, and Shivas Pandit's love for Mahaprabhu. Yeah. Only love can control God. Nothing else can control God. So, this is a weapon of Mahaprabhu. In other incarnations, he's killing demons. In this incarnation, he's changing demons, transforming them, changing their demonic mentality, and make them pure devotees. The best example is Bada Papi Chilo Rei. There's a bhajan. Bada Papi Chilo Je Jagai Madai. Most sinful, most sinful, most sinful. Not a single pious deed. All sins day and night. They became recipient of the mercy of Mahaprabhu and they received that Krishna Prem given by Mahaprabhu. Who can be more generous than Mahaprabhu? So we jivas in Kali Yuga, even though there's so much hypocrisy, cheating, fighting on all these things, all Kali around. But something very important in Kali Yuga is only by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, just simply uttering, just simply vibrating the tongue and movement of lips, one can attain that position which cannot be attained in all other yugas. One can attain Golok Vrindavan and the service of Radharani just by vibrating one's tongue, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So special. Therefore, jivas in Kali Yuga, even though bad fortune and all other, but something very important. What is that? Kale dosho nidhi rajan astik mahad guna kirtan eva krishnasya. Only by one Krishna kirtan. Even though Kali Yuga is Nidhi, Khan. Kali Yuga is Nidhi means क्या? Khan बोलते हैं ना? Mine of faults. Full of faults. Every step is full of faults. Impurities, contaminated, everything is impure. But Ekat Mahad Guna, only one good quality, great quality. Kirtan eva Krishnasya, only by Krishna Kirtan, Tat Sangha Mukta Bhaved, one can achieve that highest and highest and highest love of Krishna. Only in Kali Yuga. It's so easy. But Etradashi tava kripa bhagwan mamapi durdev videshi iha jani nanu raga. Krishna, I have no anurag, love for your holy names. So easy, accessible, but I have no love for that. So we all have to become very intelligent. Intelligent, intellectual. That person who accepts the holy name of, I'm not saying this, scriptures is evidence. They are most intelligent one who chant the names of Lord every day. We are always surrounded by negativities around us. Negativity of consciousness around us. If we don't do anything positive, the negativity will overpower us. If we do something positive every day, we're counteracting that negativity. So more or less, we should start from today itself. Right? Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Tomorrow,